Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is the match reaction. This is Sean here. Thanks for everyone that watched the match watch along. Forest nil, Liverpool 1. Certainly not how I thought that this was going to come about. Steve Mack got I think you got the score prediction correct, if I can check there. Yes, Steve Mack got it right. If I'm totally honest with you guys, a really bad game of football to watch. Really bad game of football. In the whole game, we had 4 shots on target, and that's not really the type of football that you'd expect from the reigning champions. It's certainly not the type of football that you'd expect from against 17th in the table. The Maka disallowed goal, handball. It wasn't me hoop. It was not a handball. The offside was offside and shouldn't have been a goal. But I think, one mistake corrected another. And I think that probably, I don't know, by the look of God, we got that. All in all, I mean, do you think Forest deserved something out of that game? Some could say yes, some could say no. Personally speaking, I just, that game, that performance did nothing for me. Did absolutely nothing for me at all. We should have, we we were just shocking. We couldn't string a pass together. We couldn't. It was just really bad to watch. This passing from the back or building up from the back was just dreadful, and we couldn't even get the second ball out of our half. So I'm not really happy with the way that we played. I don't think many here were too happy. Salah coming off with a big smile on his face. I think he'll probably have a lot to say at the end of the game. And if he does, I don't think he has any reason to complain. He played shit. Same with Gapco. Ekatike didn't really get the service because we didn't really have many attacking. We didn't attack much, I think it was all Forest for the majority of the game. But, I just don't know what to say. I mean, you're kind of looking at that as a win, but the style of football, guys, the way that we've played is shocking. It's a shocking game. Russell saying Rio needs to start. I think absolutely it was Rio who crossed the ball actually was to Ekatike, but that was classed as the handball, and that was ruled handball, so it wasn't allowed. I think it should have been allowed, to be honest with you. Hit his back. I think with all this bullshit talk about VAR, this, VAR, that, I think you need to look at the officials who are officiating it. There's nothing wrong with the technology. If you have all these screens in front of you and you can see, what is what, you can fast forward, rewind, do a slow-mo, whatever, zoom in, zoom out, look at all different angles. You cannot go and make a decision and say, yeah, that hit his hand, because it didn't hit his hand. It didn't even hit his shoulder. And it's just shocking to think that in this day and age, decisions like that are being made. And then, Forrest can then say, well, the goal that you did give was offside. Adam reckons it was offside. I think it was too. And you'll have Forest fans complaining about that. So yet again, we're talking about decisions that make and break the game. No doubt they'll be bringing in new rules next season. And really what they should be doing is trying to perfect the rules that they have. Try and get that right. And it's just one thing after another. It really is. It's just shocking. The standard of officiating in the Premier League has been the poorest it's ever been this season. And, this whole myth of Liverpool is well out the window. Well out the window. I'll just go down through some of the comments here. Steve says, yeah, and said it would be tight. Good. God, I'm good. Yes, absolutely, Steve. Spectre says, wait until Slot Choir Boys will tell us Slot is still the right man for the job after this game. He played boring and dull again. I don't think many people would be saying that that was a good performance or that was Slot sticking to his guns. I think there was a lot of luck there, and there was two shots on target. One of them was disallowed, and another one was a goal, and probably should have been disallowed because it was offside. Just trying to go through the Spectre says, can Steve please send me next lotto numbers for next week? Mystic Steve is what they're calling Steve Mack. Rio, the one who Slotto doesn't want to block his playing ways. Steve says, I'll send them in a fortnight, says appreciate it, says Spectre. Kevin says, I'd like to know who's blocking Slotto exit from LFC. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I think they probably don't want to be seen to making a rash decision. I think there's an element of truth to what Adam was saying about Salah's comments before the AFCON, that might have bought Slot more time. I think also the fact that he's won the Premier League last season, and obviously what happened in the summer, I think they're taking into equation. Plus, I think they're also looking at the injuries, and I think that's probably what is keeping Slot in the job. Maka just said it hit his elbow. Well, I didn't see it. I see Mon. Where was it? Mon had left a comment there, and I didn't read it out. My apologies. Must have been when I was moving from the sitting room to the kitchen. We back to phase one of the league. Drop a stinker all match, end up with a goal. Die for Liverpool 6666. Welcome to the channel. Liverpool scam first. I'd love to see. Yeah, well, we had a Leeds supporter there. I'm sure they're absolutely delighted with today's game. Will journalists be giving Slot some tough questions in press conferences the way that we've played, or forget about it after a late win? I don't know of any journalist that covers Liverpool Football Club or the main Liverpool content creators that have ever really posed a hard question for Arne Slot. Kevin says I should have asked Steve Mack the question. Yeah, so I can't see the journalists really saying anything to Slot. You'll probably see the punditry. You'll probably see or hear Jamie Carragher giving it socks and whatever. According to him, he's the only person that can ridicule or say anything bad or negative towards Arne Slot, and then the fans can't. So I don't know. That wasn't a good game of football, lads. We get man of the match for actually watching that. Die for Liverpool says, how Forest allowed to have so many world-class players? Liverpool need to raid Forest team in the summer. I'm glad you're not Richard Hughes. Steve says, yay, that was the latest. That was the latest winner this season. Oh, is it? Okay. Kevin said journalists would ask tough questions so far up FSG's. Yeah. This is something I've been critical of in the past, that I don't think the journalists have asked, important questions or questions that are on everyone's minds. Certain questions that should be posed towards the style of football that we're playing and the way that Slot has changed things around. I don't hear those questions being asked at press conferences, and if you hear that, you won't see that journalist in another press conference for a while. So I just think that if I see other clubs and journalists asking other clubs, head coaches questions, they're usually hard hitting questions. So I think the level of the standard of the journalists that cover Liverpool Football Club and some of the head content creators is really poor. And I think that's what's refreshing with AKM LFC, is refreshing with myself, is that I'll always call it out and I'll always say it how it is, or say how I feel it, and I won't be dictated to by what one journalist thinks or what all journalists think, or fit this narrative that you have to feel a certain way, say a certain thing, and then be qualify as a fan by where you're from, how many games you go to. I'm not into that rubbish. But I think there certainly needs to be some questions asked of the style of football that I watched for 95 minutes before we scored that goal. Again, people will be up asking whether it should have been allowed, whether, that was a handball or not. There's a little bit of luck in all of these things, but certainly VAR need to be, the PGMOL needs to be disbanded completely. I remember being on Frank Carlisle's show, and I think it was posed that they should get officials from outside of England to officiate these games and to be part of the PGMOL. I can't see the FA or the Premier League doing that because they're stubborn. But I think, to me, you're not. The changes that need to be made will not be made, just purely down to their views. Russell says, bring back Nico Williams for full back depth. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a player that I think certainly has improved since he's joined or he's left Liverpool, to be perfectly honest with you. We could have done a whole lot. I'm having one of the dogs coming up here for me. They have been your co-hosts for today, Marley and Milo. But look, any sort of squad depth would be certainly appreciated. I'm not too sure that they're going to do that this summer. I think they'll already feel that they've spent a lot of money, and I think you're going to be looking at possibly losing a few players, probably with Mohamed Salah possibly leaving. I don't know whether Virgil is there a question mark over him. Certainly a question mark over Maka. I wonder what Adam is saying about Maka now scoring. Spectre says PGMOL is full of corruption. Serious question: why most officials come from the Greater Manchester area? Exactly. This has been going on since Fergie time. Do you know what I mean? Kevin, who actually owns the PGMOL? Well, Howard Webb is the main honcho. I don't know who actually rules it or owns it or whatever. I couldn't care less. I've no time for the PGMOL, no time for UEFA, no time for FIFA. But yeah, so it's such a difficult game to do a match reaction to. Scusi's just after sending me a message there. Man, it shouldn't be this hard to watch. And I think that's the overall analysis of this game that I can really give it. I think it is very, very difficult to watch that game. And it's been like that the whole season. Now, hold on a second there, folks. I don't want to listen to Howard Webb or Michael Owen or that other fella that is on Sky, the former referee. I don't know what's his name. I don't care what his name is. I think referees need to be, or the officials need to have a press or do interviews after a game. I really think that would be interesting. I'd love to hear what they have to say for some of the decisions that they make, and including, Dermot Gallagher. I don't have any time to listen to him. Rogan Muffin says, hi, very fortunate today. Any plans to go out to Spain and visit Dunk this year? I don't think so. No, I think Dunk is very loved up at the moment. I see he's got a new channel called Dunk and Laura. So I don't think anybody will be getting an invite to his house. But I'm very happy for him. She looks lovely, and I'm actually subscribed to that channel. So yeah, they look to be happy out, and yeah. Kevin says we robbed Forest 3 points in the bag. Yeah, Tierney is an embarrassment. Was Tierney was he VAR or was I can't even think. Was he the referee? Do you know what? I'm all out. I don't know the names of these referees or officials. To be honest with you, I you know I lose track of names and whatnot very easily. But all of the officiating are embarrassing. That's all been recorded. I'm still on live stream, but just letting you know that's all been recorded. Good luck. Sorry, I've just been given directions to record something. Taylor was, yeah, I thought Taylor was. It's sad, isn't it? A fella sat in a room miles away from the stadium, find a way disallow goals in this, what football was invented for, really. Yeah, Tierney. You see, I'm not surprised that Tierney was VAR with some of the with that decision. I don't think that was handball. I know Steve thinks or says it was, and I think he said that Macca said that it hit his elbow. His hand wasn't in an unusual position to, so I don't know how they can class it as that. Steve says some of the best refs aren't allowed to ref us. Who are the best refs? I don't. I've yet to see one. The officiating in this league, and I'm not just Liverpool, but the whole league. Oh, they're from Merseyside. Well, yeah, yeah. Manc refs can. Yeah, exactly. Paul Tierney has an agenda towards Liverpool. Ever since Klopp called them out a few years ago, I think even probably before then, if I'm honest. I don't know how to end this show, guys. So I guess I'll keep talking. Adam, I think, is still in the car. So if I end this, if I click out of this, the show is still going to continue from what I can gather. So I don't mind talking if you guys don't mind. Oh, Adam is sending me something. He's going to log on now in a minute, so we'll end the show then after that. Unless Adam wants to come on and say a few things about the game. I don't. I think he might have missed a lot of it, but probably was listening to on the radio. And Dicko says never understood why Manc-based referees are allowed on our game. Would be a Scouser would be allowed to do the United games. Yeah, I think it needs to be kind of like what rugby in the Six Nations do. I think that's probably best, or probably from a different nationality that aren't in the Six Nations. I think that's what they need to do. I just think that the PGMOL. I think. Do you want to come on, Adam, and have a quick chat, or are you in an opportunity, or can you do that? I'll just wait for Adam to say whether he can or can't. Okay, so I'm going to finish the end of the stream, guys. I want to thank each and every single one of you for joining me and keeping me company throughout this. I know that we've done a bit of a detour of the house. You got introduced to the dogs, which I mean they're delighted with. They're looking to get onto Adam's payroll, AKM LFC payroll. They may have their a show for themselves. I don't know. But no, I want to thank each and every one of you. Look, at 3 points. It was fucking ugly. But look, 3 points is 3 points. It's very difficult to be excited by that win or to be excited by that performance. It was piss poor. And if it hadn't been for a few changes, few passes, it might have ended up in a nil all, or them nicking it. And at the end of the day, guys, it's very difficult to do a match reaction and to commentate on something like that. It's not what us fans deserve, and I'm sorry that that's what you've had to put up with, or what we've all had to put up with. And I only wish that the football was more entertaining, and this sort of football that Slot keeps talking about, we have yet to see on the pitch. He's talking about exciting football. That's not exciting. Jen, you just missed out. So I'll just read through the comments here, and we'll end it at that. Russell says, Shano, Liverpool women's versus Everton women's. Yes, might watch that. Top stream, Shano, thanks for the Borefest, Spectre. Borefest with me or the game, or both? Cheers, but thanks, Steve, for coming on your fountain of knowledge. Much appreciated. Now we watch Arsenal bottle it against Spurs now. Steve says that would have been a great game if we woke up during injury time. Jen says, hello and goodbye, guys. And your poor dogs are still in shock. They absolutely are. So, lads and ladies, thank you so much again for watching the show, watching the stream and the match watch along. Be sure to check out Sean Leonard Art, who are our sponsors. If you want to join our VIP membership, it's only $1.99 to $2.99 per month. While that doesn't cost you that much, it goes a long way with supporting the channel. And as a goodwill gesture, you're also involved in the draw, our monthly draw, where you can be in with an opportunity of winning an illustration from Sean Leonard Art. Be sure to check him out on Facebook and on Instagram if you're interested in purchasing anything from him. Just make sure that you tell him that Shano from AKM or AKM sent you, and give him a follow. He's really, really top guy. And yeah, thank you, folks, and we'll see you in the next one, as Adam says.